All right, what's up guys? Coach Josh here. Today I'll be talking about the basics of weight loss versus fat loss. And I kind of want to do these long video formats for the time being. And I know the IG Reels and Shorts format's really easily digestible, but I think some of you guys want to know a little bit more details. So I'll try to make like 5-10 minute videos for you guys. So anyways, basics of weight loss. I know there's a lot of misinformation out there, like an incredible amount about weight loss, and really it comes down to, and I know some of you guys don't want to hear this, but calories in versus calories out. And the sooner you can accept that, the easier it's going to be for you guys to be able to implement some of these weight loss strategies for yourself. And, you know, not here to judge, but if you refuse to believe that weight loss is a result of calories in versus calories out, I would switch over to another video just because you're not gonna be willing to learn anything else I'm about to talk about. So anyways, calories in versus calories out. Basic laws of thermodynamics, basic laws of physics. Most of you guys who have finished high school should have learned this at some point in physics in high school. And it's basically energy can't be created or destroyed. It's just like turned into a different form. And an example of that is when you eat food, you measure the energy by calories. You eat an X amount of calories per day, and you also burn an X amount of calories per day through exercise or even just being alive. And if you're eating in a surplus, which means if you're eating more calories than you're burning, that excess amount of calories is going to be stored somewhere on your body. And when that excess adds up to 3,500, then that becomes 1 pound. So if you, let's say, eat an excess of 350 calories in one day, and you don't exercise. The fuck is that noise? I think that's my laptop getting ready to explode. Let me just put like a post-it or something under here. Ugh. Wow, the fan is working super overtime. But let's say you eat 350 calories in one day and you don't exercise. That's essentially 1/10 of a pound of fat that's stored somewhere on your body. And then if you do that for 10 days, that's 3,500 calories. Now that's 1 pound of fat stored somewhere on your body. And that somewhere is going to be mainly determined by genetics. Some of you will have a tendency to store it in the arms, some of you the hips, some of you the legs, etc., etc. So weight loss is really simple in that, you just have to manage how many calories you're burning and how many calories you're eating. In the same way that, let's say you have a friend that comes up to you and, ignoring stocks and what else, like inflation and all that. If they just come up to you for financial advice and they go, "Hey, Coach Josh, I'm really having trouble with my savings. I just can't seem to save. I can't seem to save money no matter what I try. I've tried not spending a lot. I've tried working more. I've tried not getting the extra large Frappuccino at Starbucks. This and that. The amount of money in my savings account just keeps going down." If somebody were to tell you that, most people's first reaction wouldn't be like, "Oh, something mysterious is going on with your bank account." Most people's normal reaction to that would be like, "Well, you're probably spending more than you think you are, or you're not saving as much as you think you are," sometimes a little bit of both. And it goes the same way with weight loss. And there's a couple reasons that could be confusing. I'll get into that in a little bit. But a lot of times when you guys out there are like, "I've tried everything and I just can't seem to lose weight. I've tried eating healthier, I've tried eating less, and I'm the same weight or I'm gaining weight." Instead of thinking of that as, you've done everything and it's not working, so something's going on wrong with the body. It can't be. There's some sort of trickery going on with my physiology that is causing me to just store more fat even though I'm exercising more and eating less. Instead of thinking that way, you got to think the other way, which is your lack of weight loss or sometimes your weight gain is the evidence that you're eating too much. And, that's a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow, but I understand. I've been in this business for 10 years, and younger me would be kind of an asshole and say "Yeah, you're just eating too much." But older me understands that how you perceive what you're eating is different from how much you're actually eating, especially in America. And what I mean by that is it could easily feel like you're not eating that much, but the foods you're eating are very calorically dense. For example, I had a client the other day. Sometimes my clients get me food, and she bought me this small, it looks like a mochi treat. It's like a sweet treat. And I think she got me 2 of those. And I ended up eating both, and in my head I was like, oh, they're probably like 100, 150 calories each, 100, 150 calories each. And then when I went on MyFitnessPal to log them, they were like 330. And I've been doing this for like a really long time. So even me too, I can easily feel like, or I can easily underestimate how many calories I'm eating, just because a lot of foods out there are a lot more calorically dense than you would assume. And when a food is high in calories, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make you feel full. For you guys that have ever gotten like a milkshake at In-N-Out, I think that thing is like 800 calories or 700 calories. You don't really feel full after. You could probably eat while having that shake, and that 700, 800 calories of a drink is almost 2 burgers from In-N-Out. So that's why foods that are high in calories don't necessarily make you feel full, which is why a lot of times when you feel like, I don't eat that much, why am I not losing weight? I understand that it really does feel like you're not eating that much. And that's why I think it's super important to log food. And a lot of people don't like that. And I think a big reason is it's hard to come to terms with the idea that you are eating too much. But again, the sooner you can accept that, the faster you can fix your problems. And it's the same thing as helping somebody out financially. You know, if they claim they're doing everything to save money and they're not, the first thing you're usually going to say is, okay, write down all your expenses, write down your income, write down how much are you spending, what are you buying, every single thing, write down all your bills, and also how much do you make, because you have to do an audit pretty much of everything to see, okay, you think you're saving here, but you have these Netflix, Hulu, blah, blah, blah subscription, you have this subscription that, yeah, you're saving money here, but you're still spending a lot of money here. You just forgot about it. Same thing with food logging. It's just doing an audit of how many calories you burn and versus how many calories you eat, so that a lot of your progress can be much more predictable. And even if, like, I've had clients that, they log their food and they learn to log accurately and they go over the calories. You're not going to see results if your goal is weight loss and you go over your calories. You're not going to see results, obviously, eating too much. But you're going to feel a lot better at least knowing why. I think the worst thing is when you have no idea. You think you're doing everything right and you're not seeing results. I think that's the most frustrating thing, because if you're not seeing results, at least if you know what you're doing wrong, you can fix it. Okay, but if you don't know what you're doing wrong, you're lost. So anyways, weight loss, very simple process. You just eat a little bit less and move a little bit more, and you have to burn more calories than what you're eating. And you have to do that enough for a scale to pick up. So technically you can just burn in one day 350 calories more, or eat 350 calories less, and you'll lose 1/10 of a pound of ideally fat, right? Where was I going with this? But that's just not enough for like a scale to accurately pick up, or for you even to notice in the mirror. So that's why you have to repeat that for 10 days to lose 1 pound. And even then, most of you guys, like 99% of you guys, are not going to notice 1 pound of weight loss. So you got to repeat that for more like 100 days, right, to lose 10 pounds. And then you'll notice, you'll notice in the mirror, the scale, if you're using the same scale to measure yourself, that'll pick up a lot more accurately. And that's the tough part, is doing it for long enough for you to see results, because I think a lot of people will try for 1 or 2 or 3 weeks and not see results, when they could very well be on the path to see results. They're just not doing it for long enough for a scale to pick up, right? So it's kind of different. It's like, you could check your bank account and you could see to the 0.01 if you've saved 1 cent or 2 cents, but weight's a little bit different because scales are not accurate enough. There's probably scales out there that measure to the 0.00 whatever, but most people don't have that. And your weight tends to fluctuate based on hydration levels. So there's just a lot of wonky things that could go on that can mess with your weight until you see substantial weight loss. I'm talking about 5, 6, 7, 8 pounds later. So that's why, measure yourself, don't give up, try to measure your foods, and continue long enough for weight loss to occur. So back to weight loss. It's just a matter of calories in versus calories out. Again, 3,500 calories equals 1 pound. So the way I would break that up is, let's say you want to lose 1 pound in a week. So that's, you have to burn 3,500 calories in 7 days. 3,500 divided by 7, that's a 500 calorie deficit per day. And if you do that correctly, by the end of the week, you're losing about 1 pound. You could do that by either eating 500 calories less or burning 500 calories more through exercise. I think a combination of both is ideal because you're not going to feel too tired from exercising too much or too hungry from dieting too hard. So try to burn or move 250 calories more. And for someone who's like 150 pounds, every 1,000 steps is about maybe, I think it was like 35 to 50 calories. So something to keep in mind. It doesn't have to be structured exercise. It could be, for you guys that use like an Apple Watch or a Fitbit, it could just be stepping more, okay? But anyways, try to burn 250 calories more and then try to eat 250 calories less. And again, if you're not logging your food or activity, that becomes very difficult to do, right? If you're just guessing, because most people, including myself, overestimate how many calories they burn and underestimate how many calories they consume. So I would highly suggest tracking that stuff. Don't be offended. Don't be discouraged by using a food tracking app. It's literally a tool, the same way all those finance tools help you save money. It's literally a tool to help you lose, manage, whatever, do whatever with your weight, whatever your goal is. So it's just a tool, okay? So that's weight loss. And now the tricky part is weight loss and fat loss are a little bit different, okay? So weight loss, you don't really have to do anything. I suggest moving more and eating less, but technically you can just lay there all day and lose weight. If you just, you imagine somebody that gets lost in the woods and has nothing to eat and just kind of lays there, they're gonna lose weight if you're starving for like 5 days. And that's simply because you're forced into a caloric deficit, because your body's still burning calories because it's keeping you alive, but you're eating nothing. I don't suggest starving, but I'm just explaining that you can lose weight without any effort, really. It takes technically no effort because it's a matter of like not eating. So if you're interested in losing fat, that's going to take a couple extra steps. So again, if all you care about is the number on the scale, you don't care about getting stronger, you don't care about the shape of your body, you're just like, Coach Josh, I just want to see that number go down, then technically you don't need to work out. Just eat a little bit less, okay? Eat 500 calories less. In a week, you're going to lose 1 pound. That's not the way I would suggest doing it, but that's a way you could do it. Now, if you are interested in fat loss, it's going to take an extra step because you can have weight loss and fat loss occur at the same time, but you can also have one without the other. You can have weight loss without fat loss. I've absolutely seen that occur with some clientele. That just means that somebody that loses 10 pounds, that's 10 pounds of muscle loss, right? Not any fat loss. That's usually someone who goes on an extreme caloric restrictive diet and doesn't exercise at all and has very little protein. They're going to lose a large amount of their weight loss from muscle. And as you can imagine, if you lose 10 pounds, but 10 pounds is muscle, you're probably not going to look that much better after the weight loss. So if you're interested in fat loss, it's going to require a caloric deficit, just like weight loss, but it's also going to require you to program your workout and nutrition in a way that maintains muscle or that prevents muscle loss. And that requires two non-negotiable things, and that's resistance training, proper resistance training, pushing yourself to near failure and correct technique, and protein. You need those two things. You need the stimulus for muscle building, or in the weight loss case, muscle maintenance. And you need the building blocks to maintain your muscle, which is protein. So if you're trying to lose fat optimally and you're not resistance training and you're not having enough protein, you're probably gonna see some muscle loss instead of fat loss. Very likely you will. And even if you resistance train, same thing, right? Resistance training itself is going to be really good for stimulating muscle growth or maintaining muscle, but without the protein, it's not really going to be much. So you need both. It's pretty non-negotiable. So fat loss, optimal fat loss, is a little bit more effort because it requires you to move and it requires you to consciously have more protein every day. And it's not like, sometimes I ask people like, did you have your protein? And the old school way of thinking is like, yeah, I had my eggs today, I had my protein, I had a protein shake. It's not like a protein, it's a daily amount of protein, and that can range. A general range is like, on the lower end is maybe 0.75 times your body weight. So someone who's 100 pounds, 75 grams. A better amount is like 0.8, and then if you want to be sure that you're not leaving anything off the table, closer to 1 gram per pound of body weight to keep it simple. I mean, for most people, the difference between 0.8 times or 0.8 to 1.0 times body weight is like 20 or 30 grams of protein. That's like one protein shake. So if you want to be sure you're maximizing fat loss during your weight loss phase, just go 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Keep it simple. So anyways, I think that's a 15-minute lecture so far. I'm going to talk about this topic a lot because there's a lot to talk about, but I think that's a good first episode for you guys. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them below, and subscribe if you guys want to see more tips in the future. Also, my IG and TikTok handles are below. Same thing Coach Josh does on Instagram. If you like video games and stuff, then Coach Josh Games. So, bye guys.